Let's start by taking a really good look at these mask photos shared by Rhea Ripley this week. Obviously, the mask that she wore at Survivor Series, it looks so cool. We know it was made by Jason Baker. I'm sure it's a one-off kind of thing. I hope it's not. I hope she rocks it one day again for a special entrance down the line. It looks amazing, doesn't it? But let's talk about the probably big news this week. The Wyatt Sicks losing to the Final Testament on Raw. Now, obviously, Paul Ellering would come back, throw the powder into the eye of Uncle Howdy for Karrion Kross to pin Uncle Howdy. Joe Gacy would react to the loss on social media by tweeting out the words "no" 7 times, and Nikki Cross said they will pay with a picture of her and Scarlett from Monday Night Raw. First, I hope that this gives Nikki Cross a singles match. Nikki versus Scarlett makes a ton of sense off of the back of this. I feel now the majority of people, me included, are looking forward to how does this change the Wyatt Sicks? Does this leave Bo Dallas more broken than he was before? And what needs to change? We all know the Wyatt Sicks are going to come back from this. But most importantly, so does Karrion Kross. He actually said in his most recent Twitter video that he welcomes the comeback of the Wyatt Sicks, while adding humiliation to the loss that the Wyatts suffered on Raw by wearing a Bray Wyatt t-shirt. Karrion Kross would turn this around on fans. This was really interesting. Blaming fans for abandoning the Wyatts because they don't want to be associated with losers. Mocking fans for using terminology like buried. I thought this was a really good promo video. It's about 5 minutes long and genuinely it's exactly what Kross needed to do. Karrion Kross has carried this feud on social media, undoubtedly. And this video, turning it around on fans, insulting the fans. Now, a lot of those fans are a little bit more sympathetic to the Wyatts. And that's what's needed to happen. As seen on Raw Talk and WWE social media, after the match, The Miz tried to abandon the group, but Karrion Kross said, "No way. I see the pattern here. I see you always trying to duck out. We have the perfect recipe. Miz, you sold your soul to the devil, and the devil ain't going to be giving it back." And let's be honest, we're all expecting this feud probably ends with the absolute obliteration of The Miz by Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Sicks. I mean, it's all what we want to see, isn't it? Come on. If the loss that the Wyatts suffered on Raw, though, has got you down, something to cheer you up, today is the 200th day that Liv Morgan has been women's champion. If you don't like it, cry about it. Some unfortunate news about Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed following the tsunami in War Games when he jumped from the cage and Roman and Punk would move out of the way. Well, we knew he suffered a foot injury. WWE confirmed as much, but the Wrestling Observer confirming that he's now requiring surgery and that he's out for months. This is going to be a long-term injury, and Big Bronson will miss WrestleMania. It's genuinely such a shame. I feel like Bronson Reed has had a hell of a good year in WWE. Obviously, some big spots, big moments, big talking points, even to the point he was included in a Bloodline storyline at War Games. While the momentum may be halted for now, I'm sure when Bronson's ready to return, WWE are going to do something insanely dramatic and Bronson will be back and he'll be bigger and badder and better than ever before. Don't forget, Saturday night's main event will take place this Saturday at 8 Eastern, which is 1 p.m. in the UK. And if you're in the UK, you can watch this event on WWE's YouTube channel. So that's really cool. Some very big matches made for this show. Cannot wait to see it. We know that Jesse the Body Ventura will return to the commentary desk for this event. And he also revealed this week that he is contracted by WWE to do 4 a year. So we now know, probably, that there's going to be 4 Saturday night's main events per year. SmackDown this week will also see the semi-finals of the Women's United States Championship tournament, with the finals taking place at Saturday night's main event as well. I don't know. I'll give you a prediction. I think Bayley Tiffany. Flip over to the Raw side of things. The Intercontinental Championship tournament is obviously continuing on Raw recently, and there's apparently, according to WrestleVotes, a push backstage in WWE for Natalya to win that tournament and become the first women's Intercontinental champion. I've seen a lot of people complaining that this is a possibility, and honestly, I think it's actually a good one. I think when you crown a first champion, yes, you can use that to elevate someone, but you can also use it to reward someone. And I think Natalya being the first champion, entering a feud with someone and putting them over also makes a lot of sense. Natalya definitely does deserve it. WrestleVotes reported as well that Jimmy Uso is expected to return to WWE in January, so not too long of a wait, hopefully, for Jimmy to return. Potentially a return on Raw on Netflix. That might be interesting for that first big show, especially as Dr. Chris Featherstone, who seems to be getting a lot of scoops recently, is reporting that Roman Reigns is currently scheduled to compete on the Raw debut episode on Netflix. That's huge. What are we going to get? Like Roman solo? That would be massive for that episode of Raw. WrestleVotes are reporting that obviously John Cena will be there. We kind of expected that, but so will The Rock. The Rock should be on that first Raw on Netflix. Come on, WWE. Do the funniest thing ever. 3 times in a lifetime. Could you imagine if that's like a WrestleMania main event? But seriously though, how big is this Raw on Netflix potentially going to be? I don't know, but it's going to be unmissable. Especially if we're going to be getting the clash between Seth Rollins and CM Punk. That's been rumoured by Sportskeeda. That is absolutely huge if that's taking place on that Raw and not WrestleMania. The latest story for Ethan Page on NXT may be that he lost his smile. We've seen this new attitude from Ethan Page, and shout out to Kelsey because she realised, look at this, December 17th NXT takes place at the same venue where Shawn Michaels lost his smile. Interestingly, does that mean that December 17th is when we see a big development for this story for Ethan Page? Paul Heyman has posted on social media just to let you all know that he is back on the island of relevancy. Gotta admit, it's fucking freezing in the UK. I'm extremely jealous. Goldberg. Now, we all knew that Goldberg was going to be coming back to WWE. This was announced before. We thought he'd be coming back for a match with Gunther. Some reports out there now are stating that may not happen. However, Goldberg is expected back in the early parts of 2025 for potentially 1 or 2 more matches. I really hope his last match is against Bron Breakker. I just want to see Bron Breakker obliterate Goldberg. That's all I want to see. Squash him, Bron. Nia Jax has deactivated her Twitter today. Now, Nia has been receiving a lot of troll comments recently following her performance at War Games. Now, I don't think War Games was Nia's best performance. I'm not going to try and say it was. But Nia, since returning, has been amazing, both character-wise and in ring. And it seems like people were just waiting. One bad performance, and some of the comments, man, they are really disgusting. Things I will not repeat on YouTube. Why is anyone being subjected to that and other people finding it funny? Come on. In a social media video posted by Triple H today, he's with Cody Rhodes and a case. Now, this is hyping up Saturday night's main event. Cody looks into the case, and everyone's assuming it's the Winged Eagle WWE Championship. For maybe just one night only, Triple H wants that retro feel. It would be cool to see the WWE Champion wearing the old school championship gold. And of course, we all know Cody has wanted to use this belt for a long time. Former TNA ring announcer Jeremy Borash. Now, he's worked backstage in WWE for a long time. Recently photoed with Eric Bischoff in NXT. Well, he was actually on commentary last night for WWE LFG, which is obviously a new show that was pre-taped prior to NXT last night. Shotzi made a shock return last night to NXT. Very cool to see Shotzi back. There is no word yet if Shotzi is going to remain in NXT. Maybe this is just a temporary thing as we obviously do the transfer window and stuff. But it's just great to see Shotzi is back. Heath Slater was talking to Muscle Man Malcolm recently, and he suggested and urged Triple H to bring back the Nexus. Obviously saying it would be a lot different now as they're obviously older, more experienced, etc. Honestly, I'd like to see this. I don't know how many members of the original Nexus you could still get. I mean, I don't see Ryback returning to WWE, for example. But I do think it would be interesting if you could get maybe 4 or 5 of them together. Maybe give them one big run. Could be fun. And let's end with this one, because I think this is going to be a great topic of discussion. Who do you think it's going to be that faces Carmelo Hayes on SmackDown this week? Nick Aldis obviously made the match. WWE's YouTube actually stated it will be a new superstar. I think my money is going to be on Penta. That could be very fun indeed. We'll find out obviously Friday night. But let me know who you think it's going to be in the comment section down below. So there is your stacked WWE news for Wednesday. Again, we won't be back on Saturday as it's Saturday night's main event. We'll be covering that with things you might have missed instead. So that will be coming up on the channel. If you are new, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications. Therefore, you definitely won't miss it. And I'll see you next time. Peace!